The title is, of course, the PBS tier list with my sister, not clickbait, because why would we ever clickbait you? We would never do that. That'd be wrong. Clickbait is wrong. There she is. There she is. With a whole 0 viewers, she has made it with her basic white girl coffee drink. Joining us today is the lovely Eden Ellswick. She has experience in kid shows.
I know the PBS kid shows.
How many have you seen?
All of them.
All of them. All right, so here's the list. I think we've got some real winners here. On to the tier list. So, we've got Dragon Tales.
So,
We've
got Dragon Tales.
Dragon Tales is an American kids show made by the Okay. So, look, all right.
The egg is really pretty.
It's a dragon scale. But yeah, Dragon Tales, I think, is in the higher of the 3 here for sure.
I would say C.
Why?
Okay,
Literally.
First of all.
Okay, so starting out, we've already got like huge controversy here. We got this idiot saying that Dragon Tales is a C tier.
Okay, it's really pretty to look at, but like it's the same thing every time. Like they get the egg, they go to Dragon World, whatever it's called, every single episode. Predictable. It's like Phineas and Ferb. Like Phineas and Ferb.
Are you saying that Phineas and Ferb is a C tier show too?
Yes, because it's the same thing every episode.
Dear Lord.
So.
This was a mistake. This whole stream just a mistake.
Just end the stream.
For sake of compromise, because I am not letting Dragon Tales dip to the depths of a C tier.
B.
That would be a disgrace. I will begrudgingly put it. Begrudgingly, just to use big words, put it in B tier. But I personally think it's an A tier. But I'm taking your opinion into account. We'll go to Electric Company. Give me some weird vibes. We'll give it a D tier. I think there are some C tier. I'll put it this way. I think there's some C tier episodes. Probably. We're getting to some of the juicy stuff.
Thomas,
now.
I love Thomas Sir Topham Hatt. I hate him. He's the worst. All he does is boss everyone around. He's not even. But I do like the red one. What was his name? Like Ed. James.
No, James was the red one.
Yeah, James. I love him so much. Thomas is annoying. Thomas can literally shut up. I was literally singing the theme song this morning when I was getting ready. So good. So many lessons learned. I think it made me a better person. I love Thomas and Friends. I think it's an A tier.
A tier.
I love Thomas.
Here's kind of my thinking on this. So here's the deal. So Thomas started back in like the mid 80s, I want to say. And then it went into the, it took a break in the 90s because Lord knows what was going on in the 90s. And it returned in the 2000s. And it changed the theme song from like the da 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 to like the da 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 da. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Both great songs.
Both are great songs. It started going down. I can tell you the moment it started going downhill. When they had children come in and start singing the theme song.
Oh my gosh.
And then they made it animated.
Then it was just
like computer
so
animated.
Bad.
And that was possibly the worst decision ever. I'm thinking B, just because it has a treasured history but a crappy modern day.
Super Y?
Super Y.
Why? I like Super Y.
I cannot.
It's got the power to read.
Copyright. You can take it down for that.
It was a joke. The rice cakes episode, come on.
Oh,
My rice cakes! I love it.
I could probably put it up a rank just because of that, but the problem is it was probably at a D to begin with for me. Then there was the one that I could not stand, and it was on all the time. I don't know why they replayed this one so much. But the water, I like to splash in it. I hated that episode. There's a frog that basically just wanted to waste his entire town's water supply, thereby killing everyone.
Literally. Yeah.
So, yeah, he just went and jumped in everybody else's water. What a jerk. Still, though, C tier.
C tier.
Let's talk about Teletubbies.
Let's talk about Teletubbies.
For my toddler years, I consider it to be possibly the weirdest LSD trip that I took.
Teletubbies is genius. It's so stimulating. How could you not love it? It's so... The baby in the sun, iconic. I want to be in the sun.
Not a well-established universe. I think Marvel did their cinematic universe much better than the Teletubbies cinematic universe.
I would put it as like a C.
That's...
I would put it as a D because there's no concept. It doesn't like... There's actually no plot to it, but it's just so fun to watch.
Cyber Chase. So, Eden here doesn't remember Cyber Chase all that well. She remembers some of it, right?
I know it's math.
However, I think it was so well included in how it, like, basically dealt with the problems. I think how Hacker was portrayed. I think how Motherboard was portrayed. I think that it was a very good show, unique show, had a good plot. I really enjoy Cyber Chase. And you have Gilbert Gottfried Bird. That's my impression of Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah. So you're welcome for that.
Thanks.
I hope that ruined headphones. I really want to save S tier for those that I really think stick out above
S tier.
Stick out above the rest.
Hold your horses.
I think that Cyber Chase is really good. I quite enjoyed Cyber Chase. I am putting it, and I don't care what your opinion is on this because
you're not putting it in A.
Because I'm putting it in A tier, and I think that is a fair rating. I think that it could go. I think that it could go in S. I think that it has. Not. I think that there's S potential there. I think they're all very redeemable characters. I really enjoy the show. I think it's unique. I think that it's an A tier, though. I don't think it's perfect, because there's a couple shows on here that I think are 100% perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll agree on what those shows are, but there's a couple that I almost...
There's a couple that I'm for sure putting in S tier.
Bob the Builder. We're going to move to Bob the Builder here.
Bob, okay, think about it. What does he do? He says, we can fix it, but who's we? He never does. He doesn't do anything. He can hammer and nail it every now and then. All these machines are doing all the work. Bob had power dynamic. Terrible.
It's obviously made for a much younger audience, right?
No, Grant. No, it's made for our age group.
Well, some of these, I mean, you can at least transition and make the argument that they're for somebody a little bit older, like Liberty's Kids. You can make the argument that that's for an 8 to 10 year old, whereas Bob the Builder's solidly 3 to 5 year olds, right? We used to have a yellow VHS for Bob the Builder.
Oh, yeah.
And it had Wendy, but it also had this other female character in it who was voiced by the same voice actress as Wendy, except doing a lower voice this. And it was so it was no, we are not having that. That was not good. As a whole, though, I think that Bob the Builder's entertaining. I think it's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I feel like D.
I'm feeling C.
We could, yeah.
Because if we're gonna put Super Y and C,
it is the same. But Super Y has really good episodes here and there, and Bob the Builder never does.
But they're all. That's the thing with Bob the Builder is no episode is better than the other. They're all just kind of the same.
But Super Y, some of them.
But some of them are really bad.
Ice Cakes? Are you kidding me?
I think Bob the Builder is solidly average. All right, we're gonna move on to Arthur.
It's not. Yeah. Okay. So many lessons can be learned from Arthur. It's just life lesson after life lesson. It's perfect. There's not a single flaw. Every episode is good for every age group. There's no age limit. It's always good. What's the bully's name?
He even had a bully name too, didn't he? Binky.
Binky, okay.
That's not a bully name. That's the furthest from a bully name.
He has a bully name, like a
Binky.
But you still, you have a soft spot for him, because he, goes through some things, and it teaches you that when people are acting out in anger, there's a reason. There's a reason they're acting that way, and it's beautiful. I love the kid with the puppet. The puppet that, comes to life and
George.
stuff. George. Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a ventriloquist with a giraffe puppet.
Giraffe puppet. I love him.
What is the dynamic for, in the Arthur universe? What is a giraffe to a... What is he a moose? Is that
He's like a moose, I think, yeah.
What is the dynamic there? How do they see that? How do they view that? I don't even know.
I don't know. Oh my gosh, and then there's DW's imaginary friend, and then they go on little adventures.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
You want to do Word World?
The concept is awesome, but the actual show kind of gets boring sometimes.
So, Word World, for those of you who don't know, the general premise is that the world is made of letters.
It's called Word World.
For that reason. It makes sense now, right? And you get the letters and you smash them like that, and they create whatever you spelled out. So, like, you want a house, you just spell house. Honestly, kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The show itself, okay.
Yeah, like, it gets old.
It's a unique concept, and it does teach you how to spell. But,
like,
is there anything else that I need to mention about this show?
Know. I feel like it's D. Like, it's a cool concept, but, like, it's really kind of boring.
Yeah, I could see it at C on a good day, but we'll keep it at D. Sesame Street.
A.
I'll be honest, I don't like kind of the direction they took it
Elmo.
In the past.
I do not like Elmo.
Elmo's really annoying. Elmo's World wasn't too bad a concept.
Elmo and Mr. Noodle.
Yeah, Mr. Noodle made Elmo's World just fantastic, but Elmo didn't.
Fun fact, Cookie was my first word, and I think I have Cookie Monster to thank for that.
I mean, I'll go ahead and be honest. I think that this is going in the direction of A tier as it is.
Easy.
Yeah, I think that Sesame Street is good. There were certain segments, at least when I was a kid watching it, that were a little odd. Not like the main segment, like at the beginning, or Elmo's World at the end. It was just like those middle, like...
Oh, the numbers with like eyes were kind of creepy.
Yeah, things like that.
It was kind of creepy.
And I think if they didn't have those, because I mean, Sesame Street's a long show. I want to say it's an hour-long show as compared to like all the rest that are 30 minutes.
It deserves an hour.
I mean, it does.
So it's good. An hour of endless fun. It's
a classic, and I think it's a good classic. I think it deserves to be where it is. But that said, I think some of those like middle segments that are odd puts it down into to A tier.
Oh.
Rather than
we agree. I thought you were gonna put lower than I was like, it deserves nothing less.
Yeah, I think it's solid A tier actually. So yeah, Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Big Red Dog.
No.
Not S tier.
Really? Eden, you're dealing with some harsh competition here.
Hear me out. He's not special. He's just large. It makes everything harder. They have to accommodate for him. They have to, like, they have to accommodate for his size. Emily Elizabeth is annoying. That one yellow dog was really obnoxious, too. Do you remember the name of that one?
T-Bone.
T-Bone. He's cool. He's annoying. Clifford's annoying. Clifford's just problematic. The purple dog, Chloe, she's spoiled. Emily Elizabeth is annoying. There's not one redeemable character.
While she's looking that up, I'm going to do everybody a service here.
Don't you dare.
You guys are welcome.
What makes it good?
Everything. Literally, Clifford, all right, is able to get along with Chloe and T-Bone, and he learns so many lessons because Chloe, the jerk that Chloe was, would influence Clifford to do something wrong in the name of being vain, and Clifford would go through it the whole episode, and then he would realize at the end that what he was doing was wrong the whole time. And I have to say, mad respect to the creators for being able to tackle those life lessons in interesting ways.
In what world does Clifford even compare to Arthur?
This one. Martha Speaks. Great theme song. Fun show. And then there was...
I feel like it's solidly just a C. Like, I don't have anything to say about it. It's okay. It was cool. I like watching it sometimes.
I'm kind of leaning towards B tier.
You're putting it with Dragon Tales.
Well, like, again, if it was up to just me, Dragon Tales would be an A tier. So, but I think it could go on par with Thomas.
C. It's just so average. Like, it's alright. It's not bad, but it's nothing special. I could live with B, but just know in my heart, it's a C.
I'll let it slide to C. Liberty's Kids. What do you say we?
Yeah.
Fine.
Again, the computer game's better than the show. When you can actually like choose what they that game was actually so fun. It was like a mystery game. You had to go find like the clues and the evidence. You had to write a paper on it. You had to get illustrations. It was super fun.
Yeah, it actually it was like a point and click adventure like computer game that we grew up with. I mean, we watched the show a little bit, but I think we probably played the computer game more than we watched it.
The only episode I remember really thoroughly is because it like traumatized me, but it was about when they were tarring people. Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
I remember so it's about these journalists. So the one guy had to write about this one guy that everyone was like hating on, and he watched him get tarred, which is when they pour tar on you and like put feathers on you.
Yeah, tar and feathering.
And he was like laughing about it, but then he went to interview the guy and he was like crying in pain, and the guy with him was like he's crying because of the pain, but the tears burn and make it worse, and it's an endless cycle. And it was and then the guy had like sympathy for him and didn't write about how he was a laughing stock. He was like on his side after that, and that like traumatized me. But so that's the only episode I can remember. I feel like it's A.
I feel like it's A as well. I don't have, I'll just be straight up and honest, I don't have enough experience with Liberty's Kids to feel comfortable
The
putting
computer
it
game
S.
was an easy S, but the show, I don't know.
I'm going to put it A tier.
Yeah.
And I think that that's fair.
Safe place.
Given that we don't remember it. Sid, science kid.
I love Sid the science kid.
Leave. Just leave.
Stop, Gerald.
I hate
Gerald
Sid the science kid so
Scott.
freaking
You
much.
hate? Yeah, it's actually really not that good, but the theme song's really catchy.
Looking at the shows that we have remaining, and looking at the quality of the shows that we've had so far.
Okay, yeah, actually, Sid, the animation is really crappy, and he's kind of a know-it-all. He's like, I want to know everything. There's no redeemable character either. The mom's a freak. His dad is weird. The little baby, he freaks me out. And then, yeah, what's Gerald? Gerald is on something. I don't even know.
Gerald hasn't breathed in 4 years, judging by how purple he is.
But backseat driving with Grandma.
That was the best part of the show.
That was the only good part.
Yeah. But doesn't redeem it to D tier.
I could see, yeah. We could put it in a
F tier. Like, I watched it and I was just like, I hate watching this show, but it's all that's on right now. Zaboomafoo?
A. It's so good. Okay, I could see B too. I could see B.
I was thinking opposite direction. I'm thinking Zaboomafoo is a solid S tier.
No.
Yeah.
I don't remember it that well, but I just don't think it's good. And it was really good. It was really good, but I think it's A. I think it's there with like Liberty's Kids. I think it's with Sesame Street.
No. No, I think it's Arthur Clifford level of just awesome.
It's iconic. I remember we
S
were
tier.
so like heartbroken
Confirmed.
when it went off the air and they replaced it with Wild Kratts.
Wild Kratts ruined everything.
That made me so sad.
Yeah, Zaboomafoo is an S. There's no
fine.
more debate.
The people have spoken.
The people have spoken.
It is iconic. I can respect. Can we get Rags over with? I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, Rags is probably a D tier. Not memorable.
F. I don't remember anything about it.
I'm gonna put it D tier just because it wasn't memorable.
I simply can't help
it. But it wasn't a bad show. But yeah, I don't think either of us have much to say about Rags. It probably won't even make like the YouTube highlights. We're gonna go right to left here, and we're gonna start with Word Girl. I thought that Word Girl was an excellent show. I think that the variety of villains was top notch.
Kept it interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, I think that the problem with a lot of these shows that we've brought up kind of over and over again is the lack of variety. I think, like, some of these S tier shows, like Clifford and Arthur, could mix up the story. They had the ability to change what they did with the story. I liked the game show. Do you remember the, like...
Yeah.
Was it Name a Word? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And it was like Jeopardy style, and the one girl would always win, and we would always like celebrate when she didn't win.
We'd like boo her when she won.
Yeah.
We hated her.
Because she won every single time, like without fail.
Two Brains was so iconic. Do you remember his whole thing? Because it was a mouse's brain, so he like needed all the cheese.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
Yeah, he was very well used in that show. Like they used him a lot because I think even the creators knew that like he was a good character.
Yeah, I would put I think B. It was pretty good.
I'd be willing to give that
Lovable.
a B tier.
Okay.
Down to the bottom 2 here.
VeggieTales is not a PBS show. Grant's just a freak, so.
But like A tier.
But like A tier.
But like A tier.
But like A tier. Anyway.
VeggieTales is something that we're the grandchildren of a pastor. So we basically grew up in a church, and so we grew up with VeggieTales, naturally, and VeggieTales is amazing.
And Larry Boy.
Larry Boy, by extension, was also amazing, and I would include, if I had Larry Boy in this list, I would also put him as A tier, because, I mean, it was entertaining. It was not perfect, and I think that it was like a smaller animation studio that made it. Big Idea was so smaller, but they just worked with their resources and they created a darn good show. Honorable mention, Steve songs.
Woohoo. Okay, controversial. He's hit or miss. Okay, he has this song, and it's about shapes, okay? And then he starts talking about line. Excuse me, what kind of shape is a line? Yeah,
so the song is literally line, line, circle, circle, square, 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 triangle, triangle, line. How is line a shape, and why is it in the conversation?
It doesn't even fit the song. It's like, they're like, circle, circle, square, and they're like all happy, and then they're just like, line, like...
Yeah, like the mood shifts.
The mood just shifts. They're really serious about the lines.
You do not mess with line.
You do not mess with line.
Now that we've gotten those out of the way, it's time to end the tier list. We have one more left.
Okay.
Fetch.
With Rough Ruffman.
With Rough Ruffman. And I'm just gonna say sorry in advance if you have not seen Fetch with Rough Ruffman.
You missed out. You didn't have a childhood.
You did not have a childhood if you did not grow up with Fetch with Rough frickin' Ruffman.
I think Arthur and Fetch might be the best shows ever made.
I mean, seriously, it's up there. I mean,
easy S tier.
Yeah.
Easy S tier.
I don't think we have to debate this. S tier shows.
Basically, there's this dog named Fetch, and he has a cat friend. She doesn't talk.
No, his name is not Fetch. It's Fetch with Rough Ruffman. His name is Rough Ruffman.
There's this dog named Fetch. There's this dog. He's orange. And basically, he's like a cartoon on this TV. But the kids, it's a competition show, and the kids are real people. And yeah, they get selected. And so the cartoon dog, he instructs them with like what to do and stuff.
It's a show that I always wanted to be on. It's possibly my favorite kid show of all time.
We would always get excited for every episode, and literally all we wanted as a kid was to be on that show. We applied for like every season.
Yeah.
It's all we wanted. We never got selected. I think you had to be from...
It's like Boston or something.
I think, yeah.
Taking a final look at this tier list, though, I'm pretty satisfied with it.
I don't like the list because Clifford does not deserve to be an S tier. Arthur and Fetch were the two that I knew I wanted on S tier. I think they're perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I could, Clifford, absolutely not. I could debate about Zibumafu. I don't know about that one. But other than that, it's solid.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next stream.